Hey, beautiful people. Welcome back to the Midnight Page podcast, where we talk about books the way we talk about love. Slow, a little messy, always honest, and lit by candlelight. Tonight's drink is whatever warms your chest, because we're going home for the holidays. Not for the turkey, not for the tree, but for the kind of unfinished business that sits in your ribcage like a permanent address. 'Tis the damn season is the story of fame's cold light meeting small town heat, of the girl who left and the boy who never stopped feeling like home. Its cozy hallmark surface with a moodier undercurrent, public scandal versus private truth, ambition versus belonging, first love versus forever love. It's also drenched in music. The book literally opens with a playlist, and it keeps winking at those Taylor Swift holiday feelings. You know, the ones where the air smells like pine and closure, and then suddenly you're texting the person whose name is still saved as something you should have changed years ago. If you've ever driven back into your hometown, pulled past the diner, and felt your memory walk in front of you, yep, that's this book. And to quote Aspen as she steps back onto Pennsylvania soil after the headlines eat her alive. Part 1. Setup and Characters. The girl who ran and the boy who stayed. Let's set the stage. Aspen Moore, former TV star turned breakout pop girlie, glittering, exhausted, and newly radioactive after a tabloid-ready scandal suggests she betrayed girl code with her best friend's rock star boyfriend. She insists it's a lie, but in LA, perception outruns truth. Her phone is a gauntlet, her apartment is suddenly empty, and that best friend, not answering. Aspen does what so many of us dream of doing when everything breaks. She goes home. We open with that scorched Hollywood text fight and a Notes app apology the team drafts like triage. It's deliciously chaotic and painfully human. Home is Furtsville, Pennsylvania. Mechanic dad, sweet mom, the church Christmas pageant, and Roman Torres, the once golden football boy who's now working at her dad's shop, learning carbs and carburetors, wearing that patient smile like a letter you forgot to send. Aspen walks in, heart still ringing, and he's already at her kitchen table. He looks up and says, "Penn?" She answers, "Rome." It's a nickname exchange that tells you everything. They've been here before. And when he hugs her, she doesn't fight it. The book whispers, this is gravity, dual timeline time, and yes, this is the part you, my Swifties, will eat with a golden spoon. We cut back 7 years to the night Aspen, bullied, mortified after a talent show flop, meets Roman in the hallway. He's gentle. He calls her pretty badly, but earnestly. He says he's nervous. He says, "My chance with you," and we feel the spark that rewires the next decade. Later that week, Aspen actually goes to his game, against all of her instincts. He scores, wins, and instead of running to the team, he runs to her, picks her up, and spins her, whispering, "You came." Okay, audibly sighing here. I love a boy who chooses you while the town is watching. Back in the present, Aspen and Roman co-volunteer to direct the church's nativity, her dad's beloved tradition. It's the perfect soft plot device. Kids, cocoa, glittered construction paper, and two ex-everythings trying to be just friends while they pass scissors and share looks. He calls her Mi Cielo in a throwaway line, and I swear my insides floated. Aspen keeps insisting she's only home to heal and hide. The career matters, the city matters, but small kindnesses start to stitch her open. There's even a moment with a little girl, Ella, who's been iced out by her peers. Aspen kneels and says, "Don't make yourself small. It's the thesis, honestly. The emotional pulse. Ambition versus belonging. Aspen's LA life is bigger, shinier, but colder. Furtsville is smaller, but filled with knowing. Privacy versus spectacle. Fame barges into the quiet parts of her life. The book asks what safety looks like when strangers own your name. First, love's geography. Roman isn't just a person, he's a place. When she's near him, Aspen's thoughts move slower, safer. A few early lines that caught in my throat. Mountains move for Roman Torres. That's how she experiences him. Tectonic, undeniable. You're always good for me, Pen. Tell me that doesn't sound like a lullaby and a warning. I don't think so. I know so. The way they counter each other's doubts is its own romance. And yes, friend, there are tailor-coated crumbs everywhere. Chapter epigraphs from a playlist that lives rent-free in our head this time of year. This book knows its audience and winks sweetly. Part 2. Conflict and tension. Chemistry, but keep it quiet. Here's where the book gets delicious. Aspen and Roman decide, with the kind of confidence that always backfires, to stay in the friend lane. They'll co-direct the pageant, eat at peppermint things, and not kiss in supply closets. And then he tackles her into her own bed while they're laughing, and we all fully pass away. Aspen stops it, gently, firmly. We can't. Roman rolls back instantly, checks in immediately, and it's honestly one of my favorite parts of their dynamic. Consent is a character in this book. He's heat and restraint. She's longing and line drawing. I love them for that. But the town is watching. The gossip mill is loud. Aspen's the fallen star, the homewrecker, the girl with drama that might stain your kid's costume wings. There's a rehearsal where parents murmur and it lands like hail. Aspen feels every stone. Roman sees it and positions himself like a windbreak, running games with little boys, laughing easy, letting the room feel safe because he's near her. This is where I started whispering, okay, husband behavior. And we can talk chemistry without saying the quiet part loud. The tiny things. The way he says pen like it's a prayer he wrote himself. The hand at the small of her back, guiding her past old ghosts. The kitchen table scene, where his attention is as intimate as touch. There's also that bedroom almost kiss, and the double beat where she says stop, and he stops, but still holds the emotional space. It's tender, it's respectful. It's two people who know the pattern, fall hard, leave harder, and are trying to not wreck each other again. Aspen asks for friends, just friends, because she's staying a while and doesn't want to die of heartbreak when the calendar flips. Roman, voice broke a little, always. You'll always be my best friend. Girl, that line is quiet devastation. Themes humming here. Control and boundaries. Aspen draws them to survive. Roman honors them. Because love isn't just wanting, it's guarding. Trust and safety. He's her soft place to land. She's his proof that feeling deeply won't break him. Image versus self. Aspen is performing in every room except his. With Roman, she's the girl who writes in the margins and sings without looking over her shoulder. Also, the way he keeps calling her, mi cielo. Sir, please, we are in a church. Behave. Or maybe I should just behave. Part 3. The Breaking Point. What We Don't Say. Every good holiday romance has a night where the string lights feel a little too bright, where the town gets too small to hold what you're holding back. For Aspen and Roman, it's the weight of everything unsaid, the scandal that chased her across the country, the career that demands distance, the truth that they've never learned to love each other lightly. The pageant prep is joy and chaos, cornhole catastrophes, sugar-high shepherds, whispered pep talks to shy kids. But Aspen keeps getting pinged by the outside world. Paparazzi questions live rent-free in her head. Cruel headline echoes. Even the sweet question from a starry-eyed cast kid about a famous ex-co-star forces Aspen to perform calm. She delivers, "I'm a good actress. I can handle this." But in the quiet after, the cost shows. Roman asks, "Mi cielo, what happened over there to make you so insecure?" And she dodges, then cracks a little. "Young. I used to be so young." Oof, that one sat heavy in my chest. The present day keeps stirring in the past. In flashback, we see how her early bravery grew under his steady belief. In the now, we watch how that belief still lifts her when the room turns. The tether between timelines is intentional. Aspen's arc isn't from nobody to somebody, it's from somebody to herself. Roman's arc isn't from hero to hero again, it's from protector to partner. And then comes the conversation where Aspen tries to define the edges. We can't keep doing this, having a whole love in a limited edition. She says the thing that breaks both of them and still sounds like care. I can't keep learning to forget you. Roman answers with that shattered, beautiful loyalty of his. You're always good for me, pen. I sighed, because that line is both promise and trap. Being good for someone isn't the same as being chosen for the future. It hurts because it's honest. Some of us love someone we can't keep. Some of us are someone's home and someone else's horizon. This book lets both be true for a long time. Part 4. The Resolution, Healing, Choosing Daylight. Healing in this story isn't a grand gesture beneath the town's one traffic light. It's small, daily ordinary, which, in a genre that can go big, felt perfect. Aspen stays long enough to remember why she wanted any of this in the first place. To write songs that make girls braver, to act because it thrills her, to make a room kinder just by walking into it. And Roman, he shows up the way he always has. With steadiness, with games for the kids, with coffee that tastes like patience. When Aspen spirals about not being enough, in the industry, for the town, for him, he answers with a neat little scalpel of truth. But no one is you. That line, I exhaled like I'd been underwater. The church pageant becomes more than a backdrop. It's a rehearsal for grace. Aspen and Roman stand shoulder to shoulder, teaching kids that stage fright is just excitement with a mask on, that trying is braver than hiding. She sings a little, of course she does, and it lands like starlight. The town softens. The parents stop whispering. Aspen doesn't win the narrative. She reclaims it by being unignorable in her kindness. And the two of them, they stop asking, "Are we anything?" and start answering, "We choose." In this book, love is not a hostage situation with your dreams. Aspen doesn't have to give up the city to keep the boy. Roman doesn't have to live a half-lit life to keep the girl. They've grown into people who can meet in the middle, not people who must move. The tender off-camera intimacy, yes, there's a scene with bodies and breath and domestic softness, is written like discovery, not spectacle. We will keep that coded for the algorithm, bestie. But I smiled the whole time. It felt like the book telling us, safety can be sexy, why it hits, and why you loved it. It's cozy without being shallow, sparkly without being empty. It respects boundaries and consent. The stop is answered immediately, and the want never punishes the no. It understands the Swiftian ache of coming home and asking, am I still me here? And can you still love me as I am now? Wrap up, verdict and quote. Snow on the windows, warmth in the bones. Final verdict. This is a cup in both hands read. It's the kind of book that settles your nervous system and still gives you butterflies. If you're a sucker for second chance energy with real stakes, hometown holiday textures without the sugar crash, respectful grown-up chemistry, and music threaded like twinkle lights through the scenes, then yeah, this belongs on your December altar and the lines I'm keeping taped inside my chest. Mountains move for Roman Torres. That's how big first love can feel. You're always good for me, pen. Simple, devastating, true. But no one is you. The antidote to comparison culture, period. Also, the fact that the author penned this story so young gives it this earnest diary ink sincerity. You can feel the heartbeat in the margins. It's not trying to be cynical. It's trying to be kind. That's rare. That's why it lingers. That's all for tonight's episode of the Midnight Page podcast. Snow still tapping the window, hearts warm, and phones blessedly on Do Not Disturb. If you're listening in bed, pull the blanket up an inch higher. If you're on the late train, tilt your head to the glass and let the city blur. May your stories hold you gently